Baktaş acts like a family man on his 36th birthday. He celebrated with his girlfriend and her little boy. Barış, 36 and newly centered, with Yağmur Yüksel right beside him and the child who has quietly stolen his heart. Welcome to the Turkish Spotlight Secrets family. Today I'm back with an intimate story about one of the most talked about names in Turkish entertainment, Barış Baktaş. But this isn't about flashing camera bulbs or a fresh contract on a dazzling set. This time we're peeling back the curtain and talking about a night that turned a birthday into something much deeper. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe and keep your notifications on, because the details you're about to hear are shared only on Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Yes, Barış turns 36 this year, and the celebration is set in Spain. Not a grand hotel hall or a loud club, but something far warmer. The real headline is that this birthday won't be defined by fame or fireworks. It's shaped by the care put in by his girlfriend, Yağmur Yüksel, who planned everything quietly for weeks. And the most meaningful guest is her son. So this time, Barış isn't just another year older, he's embracing a version of himself that feels like home. Right now, Barış is filming a new series in Spain. The call times are relentless, the set tears through days and nights, but his spirit is steady. Because he has someone grounding him, Yağmur. Their romance is only a few months old, yet those who know them call it a calm love, a grown-up kind of affection that doesn't need to shout to be real. It's been a while since we've seen him this serene. His career is stretching across new borders, and at the same time, a gentle warmth is growing around him in his personal life with Yağmur and the child who follows him with bright, curious eyes. Friends of Yağmur say the boy has taken to Barış. They wander through parks together, sometimes the little one visits the set and clings to the wonder of lights and cameras while Barış kneels to explain how the magic is made. On other days they kick a ball or trade silly jokes, and the serious edge that fans know from his on-screen roles melts into a smile. The tough Barış that tabloids love to frame has yielded to someone kinder, protective, and unexpectedly playful. For weeks, while the press buzzed about scripts and ratings, Yağmur kept her true project a secret, a birthday night that would feel like belonging. She chose a stone house near Seville, tucked away under a sky that knows how to hold the light late. The place is rustic and romantic at once. White roses, red candles, low jazz weaving through Spanish guitar notes, a quiet corner where warmth pools without asking for attention. And the detail that might break your heart just a little, a card drawn by her son, the kind of picture a child pours his whole world into. Those close to the couple whisper that, to the boy, Barış is not merely his mother's favorite person. He's a real-life hero. And that this will be the first time the three of them feel like a family. Nothing went unnoticed by Yağmur. The table held Italian dishes Barış craves after long shoots. Between courses, recordings of Spanish guitar pieces he plays on repeat drifted through the room. She even arranged a small gift nook just for the boy, because tonight wasn't only about a man turning 36. It was about the promise of a home where laughter echoes, about being a guardian of the joy that lives under one roof. Picture the scene. The lights soften. A guitar hums in the background. Yağmur, wearing a white dress that catches the candlelight, steps toward Barış. In her hands, a small cake with 2 candles, not just one. One for him. One for the child. She looks up and says, with a voice both steady and trembling, that today might be his birthday, but really, it's the day the love he brings has found its voice. The smile that spreads across his face is not for the camera. It's for the life that is choosing him back. People backstage at the glossy magazines where whispers turn into headlines all repeat a similar thought. Barış isn't only the star the industry knows. He is becoming the man who sits at the table and listens, who laughs with a child and wipes away a stray tear before anyone notices. That night, the boy presses in close beside him, and together they blow out those 2 candles. When the little one says, "Happy birthday, Barış," his name lands like a promise. You could see the mist in Barış's eyes. That image traveled faster than any promo still, and by morning, Spanish tabloids were leading with it. We have known Barış for years. Driven, decisive, sometimes fierce, sometimes surprisingly tender. But after this night, people are saying it outright. Something has shifted. It's not that he's giving up on ambition. It's that he understands what he wants to protect. One of his friends summed it up in a way that lingers. Spending time with Yagmur and her son calmed him. Made him softer in the strongest way. He isn't afraid of looking powerful anymore. He wants to feel things fully and without apology. At 36, he seems to be accepting every part of himself and those who stand beside him. The party wasn't just sentimental. It unfolded like a small festival of joy. A handful of close friends came by, a couple of co-stars from the Spanish set slipped in after filming, and even the series producer toasted him with a grin. But what everyone kept replaying in their minds was a simple moment. When Barış scooped the boy into his arms and offered a small gift wrapped neatly with a ribbon. Inside was a soccer ball. He said, gently, that this ball could be their flag, a symbol for afternoons in the park and victories that mean nothing and everything. The boy smiled so big that you could feel the room stretch with it, and Yagmur pressed her lips together against the swell of emotion. In one gesture, Barış both touched his girlfriend's heart and earned the trust of a child who clearly wanted him to stay. Photos from the night slipped onto social media like rays of morning. There was laughter in them. There were glances between three people who seemed to breathe in the same rhythm. Comments poured in calling them a family without needing to say the word. Spanish headlines the next day felt almost poetic. The man who found his home. And if you looked at his face in those pictures, you would think the same thing. Of course, the conversation didn't end there. Fans debated across platforms. Some said he had finally matured into the person his roles had hinted at. Others wanted him back in Turkey as soon as possible, missing the familiar energy of his earlier projects. But beneath those debates ran a single current: people were moved by this side of him. Seeing a man known for intensity step into the gentle authority of a father figure felt like a revelation. In Spain, the phrase Barış is now part of a family raced through timelines and trended by sheer repetition. And then came the quiet plans, the ones that don't need an announcement to exist. Those close to him say he keeps talking about the future with a steadier voice. He sees his relationship with Yagmur as something meant to last. He wants to stay in Spain for a while, to give both the series and this fragile, growing circle the time they deserve. There's even been talk of a small coastal town, a place where the air smells like salt and the days move at a kinder pace, where the three of them could write their own routine of breakfasts and school runs and late-night script reads at the kitchen table. Think about it. Barış, who has carried his ambition like a torch for years, is now learning how to carry a different kind of light. He has always been a leading man. Now he seems ready to be something closer to home. That's why this 36th birthday reads like a rebirth. Not only as a public figure, but as a partner, as a quiet protector of a life that asks him to be present, not perfect. I keep coming back to one detail. After most guests had gone, when the jazz had faded and the candles were more wax than flame, the boy tugged at his sleeve and asked if they could kick the ball, just a little, in the yard. It was late, and the stone ground near the orange trees was cool. They laughed softly so as not to wake anyone. A few minutes. A couple of passes. The day closed around them like a blanket. And it felt like the true gift wasn't the ball at all but the fact that someone answered yes. For those who watched him in his earlier years, there's a sense of witnessing the answer to a question we didn't know we had. What happens when a man used to commanding the set chooses to listen instead? When he chooses to ask the boy which goal they should aim for, and then smiles at the answer. When he looks over at Yagmur, who is tidying plates and smiling back at him through the kitchen window, and realizes that this is the role he wants to get right more than any script. It's fitting that Spain is the backdrop to this story. It's old stones and loud plazas. It's bridges that seem to know exactly where they're going. It is a country that understands the theater of life and the intimacy between notes and a melody. And this birthday, with all its simplicity and its carefully chosen details, felt like a song composed for three voices that are still learning how to harmonize. So here we are, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family. This year, Barış Baktaş's birthday was not just a party. It was a soft declaration that he is willing to show up for love, to stand steady in the middle of a new kind of promise. His care for Yagmur and her son makes it clear that he has grown in ways that have nothing to do with age and everything to do with courage. What do you think? Is this the most honest version of him we've seen, a turning of the page that was waiting to happen all along? Tell us below. If you enjoyed being here, like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a moment. In our next video, we'll dig into the behind-the-scenes fire and finesse of his new Spanish series and what it could mean for the choices he makes next. Until then, thank you for watching, and we'll meet again for another deep dive right here on Turkish Spotlight Secrets.